Lesson 14 conditionals walkthrough. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is Booleans. So Booleans are a true or a statement that evaluates to true or false. So this program draws a race car and a finish line, and we're going to figure out when the race car crosses the finish line. So the sprites have been set up for you. Everything's moving. You are just going to be doing the following. And it says add a console.log statement inside of the draw loop. So let's close this console right here. We're going to say console.log. And I want to know, it says add a Boolean expression. Well, Boolean expressions are these, the greater than, less than, or equal to. These are things that will tell me a true or a false. So I want to know, is the X position of the race car less than? So this is the less than. And I want to know race car X less than the X position of the finish line, which is called finish line. Finish line X. So now I'm going to watch for this because it's going to print this out and tell me, it's going to say false until it hits a certain point, and then all of a sudden that's going to become true. So watch down here. There we go. That's when it became true. As soon as it crossed this line, right in the center of this sprite, it became true instead of false because it was across the finish line or greater than. All right, in this, it says, read the code for this race car program. What will it do? So this is a prediction. So it says race car, if it's less than 100, which is X less than 100 is about right here, then it's going to say that you're the winner. So I'm just going to say that. It's going to tell me I'm the winner when the car gets there. So right now as it moves, it's checking over and over again, and it's waiting until it sees if the car's X is less than that 100, so it's hit that point, then it's going to say it's the winner. So if we look at this right now, it is an apple, and it keeps going and going and going and going and going right now. So what we want to do is use a conditional in the draw loop to check whether the fruit scale is bigger than 2, and then change it to a pair when that occurs. So if we look right here, here's where it's getting bigger. So each time it gets bigger, then I want to be checking, and I want to know if, and we're looking for greater than 2. So if fruit dot scale is greater than 2, I want to change that image of fruit from apple, which it is right here, to pear. And it'll keep getting bigger, but as soon as it hits that 2, and you can see in the bottom I'm watching the scale right here, it hasn't, there it goes. As soon as it hit it, picture changed into a pear. All right, let's look at the practices here. Okay, so this one's tricky. So it says read the entire program and see how sprite 1 and sprite 2 are being created, which properties are being compared, and then look at the expressions and see what's being compared. Change the code in the first 11 lines only. So we're not going to touch these. You have to leave them alone. So if you look at it, it says sprite 2.x is equal to sprite 2.y. So if we go to sprite 2, here's the x and the y. They need to be equal. So let's put them both at 200 right now. So that'll make, if I run this right now, that first one true. Let's look at the second one. Sprite 2 rotation needs to be less than 40. Well, it's at 60, so let's do 39, because that's less than 40. And now that second one right here will be true. Okay, number 16. Sprite 1.scale is equal to sprite 2-dot scale. Well, 0.5 and 1.5. Let's just change those scales to be equal then. No, that one's true. Well, let's look at this one. Sprite1.x is greater than 150. Sprite1x greater than 150. That's not true. So we need it to be like 160. Now that's true. This is the one that's going to mess everything up. Sprite2.y needs to be less than 200. Sprite2.y needs to be less than 200. So if I do 199 here, that first one becomes false because those needed to be equal. So this needs to be 199 as well. And now they're all true. Want the soup to spill out of the bowl when it turns upside down. So we have soup, rotation, add a conditional that checks when the bowl is upside down and sets the sprite to be an empty bowl. So if we go in the animations, there's one with stew in it, and here's an empty bowl. So we want to change when the rotation is all the way upside down. So let's look at the rotation as it moves for a little bit here. Soup.rotation. Let's run it. Oh, helps to add the thing in there. Let's look at what this value is when it's upside down. It's like about 180. So let's say if soup.rotation is, let's do less than, greater than 180, then we're going to change that to an empty bowl because it's spilled out. It's going to keep going, which is fine. You can see the rotation keeps going because it will rotate over and over again. We're going to change that soup animation to just the bowl. And empty. Make the alien dance when the spaceship reaches the top of the screen. Well, the top of the screen is 0. So let's say if spaceship.y is less than 0, we want him to jump up and down, so we're going to do that fun thing with the y here where we say, oh, what's his name? Alien.y, and we'll do a random number. And let's see where his y is right now. He's at 350. So we're going to say 350 and 340. And there he is, jumping up and down. Make the dinosaur turn into a pterodactyl when it touches the sky. So you just need to make a decision about where you think the sky is. I'm going to say it's about right here, which is y is 230 or like 240. So we're going to say if dinosaur.y is less than 240, we're going to change dinosaur image to a pterodactyl. Yay! Visibility challenge. I'll do this one with you. So we have a balloon, and we want to check when the balloon is a certain size. We're going to change its image. So let's do this. Use a condition that checks to see whether the balloon has hit the edge. So we're going to say if well, let's follow the scale and see where it is. Go to a watcher here. Let's look at balloon scale. Let's reset and run. We're gonna, oops, I didn't mean to put that in there yet. Run. Let's watch. We want to see where the scale is when it touches the edge of the screen at any point. I think it's going to touch the top or the bottom first. But we'll see. Yeah, it's going to touch the top first. Right there. So 0.6. So we're going to say if balloon.scale is greater than 0.6, we're going to change that image. Oh, it's not in a different image. It's actually a completely different picture. If you look right here, there's balloon. We're going to do two of them, okay? So two if statements. So we're going to say if, and we need another one that's when it's less than. So we're going to say if balloon.scale is less than 0.6. So we have a greater than and a less than. And we'll change that image. We need to add that pop sprite as a separate sprite here. Pop, pop, pop. So we're going to use hide and show. So this is going to be balloon that visible false when it gets big. And when it gets to that big, we actually want the pop.visible to be true. Well, we got to set this one to be false to begin with. So we'll start out here in the beginning and we'll say pop.visible is false. Ew, they seem to be backwards. Balloon visible once greater than is false. True, visible, balloon, true, false. There we go. We're approaching that 0.6 pretty soon here. And, oh, I forgot to change this to pop. Now it's going to take forever to see it again. Here we go. There we go. All right, and that is lesson 14.